Deep in the emerald twilight of the Central American rainforest, beneath a suffocating canopy of mahogany and ceiba trees, lies a world that shouldn't exist. Imagine walking through a silence so thick it feels heavy, only to stumble upon a staircase of stone, carved with the faces of gods, rising hundreds of feet into the humid air. These are the skeletal remains of the Maya civilization, a world of towering pyramids, vibrant murals, and sprawling plazas that once rivaled the grandeur of Rome and the mystery of Egypt. But the most haunting thing about these ruins isn't their size. It's the way they were left. Tools were dropped mid-use. Half-finished monuments sit frozen in time. A civilization of millions simply stopped. How did such a sophisticated civilization, masters of the stars and architects of the impossible, vanish into the shadows? Today we are unearthing the lost golden age, traversing through every era of their existence to solve the ultimate historical cold case, the Maya collapse. To truly understand the tragedy of their fall, we must first travel back to the very beginning, to a time long before the Great Pyramids. The story of the Maya begins in the Preclassic period, stretching from roughly 2000 BCE to 250 CE. This was the foundational era, where the Maya transformed from simple nomadic hunter-gatherers into settled villagers. They began as pioneers of the jungle, domesticating maize and perfecting the art of pottery. By the Middle Preclassic, the first whispers of grandeur appeared as they moved from small huts to ceremonial platforms. But it was in the late Preclassic that the world saw the first true Maya megacity, El Mirador. This massive urban center featured the La Danta temple, one of the largest structures by volume in the ancient world. It was here that the Maya began to experiment with the divine kingship, the complex calendar, and the early hieroglyphic script that would later define their peak. They were setting the stage for a performance the world would never forget. Then came the dawn of the Classic period in 250 CE, the true Golden Age. For the next 6 centuries, the Maya heartland exploded into a tapestry of competing city-states. This was an era of intellectual and artistic frenzy. While Europe was struggling through the early Middle Ages, the Maya were performing intellectual feats that seem almost supernatural. They were the masters of mathematics, independently inventing the concept of zero, which allowed them to perform calculations involving millions. Their astronomers were cosmic cartographers. Without telescopes, they track the synodic period of Venus with an error of only 2 hours over a span of 500 years. In cities like Tikal and Palenque, over 60,000 people lived in a sophisticated landscape of raised highways and sky-piercing temples. They viewed time not as a straight line, but as a complex gear system of interlocking cycles, creating calendars more accurate than the Gregorian one we use today. They were the masters of their universe, and at this moment they seemed invincible. But the most mysterious chapter of this saga is the great collapse that ended the Classic period between 800 and 900 CE. This wasn't a single explosive event, but a systemic disintegration. In one city after another, the long-count calendars fell silent. Modern science has recently pointed us toward a terrifying culprit hidden within the Earth. By analyzing paleoclimate data, specifically stalagmites in the Yokbalum cave, scientists have uncovered a smoking gun. The Maya heartland was hit by a series of catastrophic, multi-decadal droughts. Imagine the psychological horror as the sky closed its gates. The Maya kings, the Kuhulajau, claimed they were the divine bridge to the gods. Their primary job was to bring the rain. They performed bloodletting rituals, piercing their own skin to nourish the earth. But as the sun beat down and the reservoirs cracked, the people realized their gods were no longer listening. The social contract shattered. Famine didn't just bring hunger, it brought a crisis of faith. When the corn withered, the foundation of Maya kingship evaporated. The drought was the spark, but the Maya world was already a tinderbox of its own making. They had overfarmed the land and deforested huge areas to create lime plaster for their pyramids, leading to a self-inflicted ecological spiral. As resources dwindled, The once peaceful city-states turned on each other in desperate scorched earth warfare. Yet even after the fall of the great southern cities, the story wasn't over. We enter the Postclassic period, 950–1524 CE. The Maya did not go extinct, they migrated. They moved north to the Yucatan Peninsula, where a new kind of Maya society emerged. Cities like Chichen Itza and Mayapan rose to prominence, blending Maya traditions with influences from central Mexico. These were mercantile cities, less focused on divine kings and more on international trade. They were resilient and adaptable, surviving for centuries after the southern heartland had been swallowed by the jungle. They were still thriving, still trading, and still writing when the first Spanish sails appeared on the horizon. The final conquest was long and brutal, with the last Maya stronghold, Tayasal, not falling until 1697. The ruins of Tikal and Palenque stand today as more than just a testament to ancient genius. They are a mirror held up to our own modern civilization. We live in an era of unprecedented technological power. Yet like the Maya, we are witnessing the fragility of our climate and the strain on our global resources. The Maya didn't fail because they were primitive. They failed because they were too successful at expanding until they outgrew the very earth that supported them. Their story is a haunting whisper from the past, reminding us that no civilization, no matter how great its monuments or how precise its math, is immune to the laws of nature. The jungle eventually claims everything that isn't built in balance. If this deep dive into the rise and fall of the Maya moved you, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We spend hundreds of hours researching these mysteries to bring the past back to life for you. What do you think was the final straw for the Maya? Was it the drought, the hubris of their kings, or a combination we haven't yet discovered? Share your theories in the comments. I read every single one. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you can join us for our next journey into the heart of history's greatest secrets. Thank you for watching, and remember, history isn't just behind us, it's beneath us, waiting to be understood.